promised I wasn't going to cry, Irene, but I won't keep you too long, but I wanted to share this little acceptance speech that I wrote for today. Good afternoon, everyone. I am so humbled to be recognized here today on this, the 100th anniversary of Mayor Ralph Perk's birth, in the company of so many individuals I love and respect. When Mayor Perk established the American Nationalities Movement, he shared with us his dream for all nations to be free and gave us a place where all people could find friendship and understanding. The relationships formed in the movement and the combined efforts of its members have made Cleveland the wonderful place it is to live and to work. My first thought when I heard I would be recognized here today was of my late father and how proud he would be to see me standing here representing my Italian heritage. He loved our country and served in World War II in the United States Army Air Corps, but he also had great pride in being an Italian American. He instilled that pride in his children. We grew up in a house filled with Italian music, sauce simmering on the stove every Sunday, and the smell of homemade bread as we walked into our house after school. And of course, our house was filled with lots of love from mom, dad, brothers, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins. Dad reminded us of the many contributions Italians gave to the world of art, science, architecture, government, business, and so many other fields. I am quite sure that my brothers and I were the only children in grade school who knew about Enrico Fermi, Galileo, Amerigo Vespucci, Da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Volta. We were also told that we had big shoes to fill and a responsibility to our family name and those who came before us to be good citizens and honorable human beings. I now look back and realize that I learned something else when I was very young, right at my family's kitchen table. At that time, I didn't realize the value or how it would influence my life in the future. Dad was a successful home builder, quite an accomplishment for a second-generation Italian-American. On weekends, his fellow tradesmen would gather at our home to pick up their checks. On those Saturday mornings, endless cups of coffee, bacon, eggs, and toast were lovingly served by my mother. I don't think they checked cholesterol in those days. At that table, in a room filled with smoke from their Camel cigarettes, they broke bread, talked about business, and solved all the problems of the world. They shared their stories and their parents' stories about their journeys to this country and their struggle to make a better life for their children. I could have run outside to play, but instead I chose to stay and help my mother clear the dishes so I could hear their conversations firsthand. In that room, I saw my first Auschwitz tattoo and heard my first stories about the concentration camps. It's the place where I heard a Romanian foreman talk about his flight to freedom and the story he later told over Radio Free Europe. The place I heard a Hungarian excavator talk about his flight from the communist with just the shirt on his back. I will never forget those stories or the wonderful, hard-working people who told them. I admired their strength, their determination, and the pride they had in their heritage. That's where I learned, at that table, that we are all God's children, all with the same dreams. So many of those kitchen tables are gone now. How lucky we are that Ralph Perk's dream lives on in the American Nationalities Movement, a place where all people, all nationalities, can share their stories and learn mutual respect for each other. How much easier and sweeter our journey in life becomes when we share our dreams. I consider myself very lucky to know and love my family's history, but I also feel privileged to have learned at an early age to have an appreciation for all of the nationalities that create the rich mosaic that make up our world. Thank you for this magnificent, which I'm about to get, award. I will treasure it always.